analysis or interpretation of certain graphs and stuff.
Yes.
So what do you see of that? How would you explain that?
Yeah.
So I try to get them from first year level to try and analyze what they're doing and what's the impact.
Such an important skill.
And in second year, I take it a step further. They would do a lot more in the A113 or business applications exam. And even at third year level, when I take them for the computers for actuaries subject, they do their calculations and their models on in Excel spreadsheets. But the final question is always, what is the meaning? What is that analysis?
Exactly.
Act on this, on whatever situation they were given in that question.
Yeah.
So they need to know that their calculations have a further impact, or there's a further meaning to whatever they do.
Yeah, I agree. And talking about business applications, could you just highlight to listeners who haven't sort of engaged with this material, what are some of the core sort of topics that are included in business applications?
So business applications part of your A113 subject, and it's, as I said short while ago, on focusing on an individual business and how it's run.
Okay.
And how would you make the decisions in the business? So it starts off with your key principles of finance. What are your main goals in finance? What do you do with your capital and investing decisions in the business? Then the different types of businesses that you would get, like your sole proprietor.
Okay. So like different types of entities.
Correct.
Okay.
Your different types of entities. And then from there, it's how would you run the business, right? From raising your capital, which project to invest that capital in, how do you generate returns for your shareholders, how do you calculate your cost of debt, cost of equity in the company, and then he takes it a step further on how do you expand your company, if you want to restructure and grow your company.
And invest in new projects.
And how do you read your financial statements? How do you look at everything in the company holistically?
Yeah, I think another point linked to that is I often have students say to me, I'm interested in studying actuarial science. So I worked at a school for the past 2 years, and some of my students were interested in actuarial science, and they would say, but I'm not doing accounting. Can I become an actuary if I haven't done accounting? So maybe talk to that, and I'll talk to my experience of it as well. But what would be your view there?
Yes, you can. So a lot of students come in without doing any accounting. It's structured as you at first year level, you would do a business accounting course, and that would start from your initial principles of
like debits and credits,
correct,
and accrual and etc.
Yes, it would start with your fundamental accounting concepts.
Yeah.
So even if somebody has not done accounting before, they can fully grasp all the concepts, and at the end of the year, they would be at the same point as somebody who has done accounting in school.
Yeah.
So they would not be disadvantaged in any way. And the students do well in that course as well.
Yeah. So I mean, to add my sort of 2 cents, I didn't do accounting at school. And that was also one of my concerns, when you sign up for actuarial and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm doing business accounting. That's going to be a bit of a difficult hurdle to overcome. But also, I mean, business accounting is not the same as financial accounting, right? So it's not as there's not as much volume. And yet it gives you enough background. So you don't need to have all of the background from like a school perspective to be able to pass that subject and then to continue on and sort of understand the fundamentals of, business applications, etc. So it is doable.
Yeah, definitely.
And what do you find students struggle with most conceptually in business applications? A little bit of a trick question. I guess every student is a little bit different. I remember I used to struggle a little bit with project appraisal because there's all those different ways of doing it.
Yes.
And how you know which way to which method to use to appraise a project, or which one sort of it gives you the indication.
In the project appraisal chapter in the syllabus and notes, you cover I think 15 or 16 different appraisal techniques.
Don't let this put you off actuarial science.
But of those, it's put into the notes so that the reader can see all the different methods that.
Yeah, it's comprehensive.
It's comprehensive, but we don't always use.
100%.
Some of it is quite abstract or just like a back of the envelope check. To what you're doing. You would have your primary methods that you would go through for those appraisal techniques. But in terms of what the students struggle with, as you said, each student is different. but I try to keep the class at pace at the end of each lecture.
Yeah.
So that if somebody does not understand something, I would try and go back and explain it so that nobody is left behind, nobody falls behind.
Yeah.
So that at the start of the next lecture, everybody is ready and prepared to move forward.
Yeah, that's amazing. You sound like you're an incredible lecturer. I wish I hadn't had you only for a tutor. It would have been amazing to have you as a lecturer.
And you pick up all these little points all the time.
Yeah,
And you see like when you were a student,
what you appreciated. Yeah, 100%.
you have liked to be done differently.
Yeah.
And you try and incorporate that.
Yeah, 100%.
And each year you get feedback from the students.
Exactly.
And that feedback actually helps you to improve yourself.
100%.
So you shouldn't see that feedback if somebody makes a negative comment.
No, you say, okay, let me work on this thing. How do I adjust?
They're not attacking you. It's just a point
Oh,
for you to
exactly.
improve so that they are benefiting at the end of the day.
100%. But thank you so much. It's been lovely to see you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. And I'm sure our audience will find this so encouraging.
Thank you so much for having me. And for this future actuaries and the students, don't give up. Even if you take multiple tries, go ahead and you will definitely make it.
Thank you, hey. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review on your preferred streaming platform. If you'd like to interact with us more or add questions or topics to our pool of ideas, please follow our Instagram page at ASforActuary or email us on asforactuary@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Take care.